What's up, guys? Snash here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna just be going over Chelsea's deadline day moves. So let's get into it. All right, we're gonna start with the main saga of the last couple of days. Nicholas Jackson is actually going to be going to Bayern. As it says here, 16.5 million euro loan fee, and I think the obligation to buy if he plays a certain number of games is like around 70 million or 60 something million euros. So I think it ends up being 70 million pounds total if they end up signing him permanently. And yeah, this was just a crazy move because yesterday I had no idea what was going to happen after Delap got injured. Then we canceled his move while he was already in Germany, and he refused to come back. Um, but we canceled the deal anyways. And then after we recalled Mark Gu, it became even more confusing because then we would have had four strikers technically once Delap got injured or got fit, and with João Pedro there already. So once we recalled Gio, I had a feeling that we would be letting Jackson go. I just wasn't sure if he was going to be to Bayern again. But obviously, they continued the negotiations. We got a higher loan fee and we got an obligation in the deal, so it kind of worked out better for us in the end. And I'm kind of glad he got his move in the end because personally, I'm not a guy that like hates Jackson. A lot of people hate on him. I think he's a bit overhated. Like he definitely has his issues. Like he can't finish, but he does a lot well on the ball, and he was a big part of our team the last couple of years. So I'm happy he's got his move, and yeah, hopefully he's a success there. But in terms of us, Marguerite coming back, I mean, we could have gone for like another striker. I think we were linked to like Conrad Harder from was it Sporting? I think he's gone to Leipzig now. But at least with Guy, we have someone who's trained with the team for a year. He knows the system. So worst case scenario, we have someone that actually knows Maresca and knows what is to be expected of a striker at Chelsea. And in the end, we could have gone for another striker, but what are the odds that we go for someone that ends up being not very good? We overpay, and then we're stuck with an extra striker that we don't need and can't get rid of, in a year's time. So I'm not mad at the move. It's just an unfortunate situation with Delap getting injured when he did, but it is what it is. We move. Yeah, and here's the confirmation: Guy getting recalled from Sunderland. And honestly, I think even for his career, this is probably fine because he went to Sunderland. He was already their third choice striker. Like maybe he could have gotten himself, into up the pecking order, I should say, and maybe become second choice, maybe a starter. Who knows? But I think at this point, he's probably going to get more game time at Chelsea than he was at Sunderland, anyways. So it's probably a good move for all parties. Then continuing the incomings, this one technically wasn't deadline day, it was yesterday, but it's whatever. Garnacho, I mean, he's the Chelsea player now, so I'm just gonna support him and hope he does well. It's not the signing I would have made. It's not the signing I wanted. I would have preferred Simons any day of the week, but it is what it is. He's a winger. He's an alternative to Gittins. So yeah, it's just one that we're just gonna have to see how it goes and hope it goes well. That's really all I can say about this. One transfer that did come through on deadline day was Buonanotte, and this one is only on loan from Brighton, and we don't have a buy option either. But obviously, we can still place a bid in next season if we actually want to keep him. And I think we have matching rights, so if Brighton accept any bid from any other club for him, we can match it and then negotiate with him to see if he wants to stay, obviously. And I think like it's not a horrible option. I think this was the position Simons would have played, like the kind of backup to Cole Palmer, and Simons I think could have probably started on the left as well. But I think Bonanote, he's not a bad player. He's talented. Whether he's going to be up to the level we need remains to be seen. But I think he had like he didn't light the world alight at Leicester last season. I think that's where he was on loan. But he showed like flashes of decent play, and I'm hoping that being at Chelsea and being around better players, hopefully he can kind of up his level a bit. I don't hate the signing, but I don't know. I think we're expecting Cole to play most games, so that's why we probably got someone that maybe like if we gotten Simons, you'd probably expect to start like a decent amount of the time. And with Palmer in the same position, that's the problem we had in Nkunku. So maybe that's why they decided they didn't really want to go for Simons. Who knows? But I'm not I'm not hating this move. We'll just have to see how it goes again. And I think honestly, I can see him just doing well here, and then us signing him for I don't know 30 or so mil next season. So we'll see how that goes. All right, this one I did not really see coming. 22 mil for Tyreek George plus a sell-on clause to Fulham. I mean, I guess for him, it makes sense because he was at this point after Garnacho signed, he was our third choice winger. So yeah, I think for him for game time and to try to develop better, Fulham's not a bad option. That being said, they did sign like two other wingers on deadline day, so I don't know what that means for him, but I think 22 mil is a decent amount for him plus his hell on clause. We can probably always buy him back if we want. Um, I don't know. I didn't think he was ever like a top talent, the likes of like Esteval or people like that, basically. But he was a decent performer for Chelsea when he got the chance. Obviously, he scored the goal at Fulham last season that like started our run for Champions League. So we owe him a lot. And obviously in the Conference League too, he had some good performances. So nothing bad to say about him. Hopefully he does well there and continues to develop. And then even more out of the blue than the Tyreek George, Chilwell to Strasbourg. Again, didn't see this coming. I've seen some people like around Chelsea saying that we're going to be technically splitting his wages with Strasbourg, or we've paid off half of his wages and then he's going to go there on a reduced wage so he still gets like the full amount. It is what it is. I'm glad we've got him off the books. I think Strasbourg is probably a better fit for him than Chelsea anyways because they played three at the back with the wing back. So that's where obviously where he won Champions League with us. So I mean, yeah, for Joel, I mean he's not a bad guy. He was good for us. He helped us win the UCL, like I said. So hopefully he can actually get his career back on track. So that's it for the incomings. Looking at all the rest of ours, we got Buonanotte, Garnacho, Hato. I'm pretty happy with that. Honestly, Cucurella has needed a backup for the last 2 years, so glad he actually has one. Giddens, I think we probably overpaid a bit for him, but he is very talented, so we just have to see how he develops. Pedro obviously looks like probably signing of the summer at this rate. Delap, unfortunate injury, but I don't know. He showed like some decent signs. I feel like people have been getting onto him a little bit because he hasn't like been scoring as much as João Pedro has. But I think he, especially in the previous game against West Ham, I thought he was decent. Asugo is probably a really important signing considering Lavia's fitness. Like if Lavia was actually fit, we wouldn't even need this because he would be such a good backup for Caicedo. But that's not the case. He's played like 20 games in 2 years with us, so yeah, really important player for Caicedo to hopefully get some rest throughout the season. And then to look at our outgoings, I think we've done a really good job, honestly. Starting with Nkunku, we got like 35 million euros from Milan, considering like how broke basically like Italian and German clubs are. I think that's a great deal. And Samino on loan, he's already played, had a really good performance in his first game, so hopefully that bodes well for the future for us. Same with Chukwuemeka. Uh, for a German club, 20 mil is not bad. And I think we have a pretty big sell on clause as well. And Renato Vega again, 24 mil from Villarreal with a sell on. That's a great deal. Armando Broya, I think, yeah, this was like 20 million pounds. Honestly, I'm really surprised about this one. Like, he obviously is talented, but with the injuries, I think 20 mil from Burnley of all teams is probably a bit much for them. But we'll take it. Hopefully he can like get his career on track as well. Gochuku, I think is a really good player. I reckon they'll probably end up selling him for like double this at some point in the future. But yeah, good sale from us there, considering what we brought him in for. Dewsbury Hall, 1 season at Chelsea, won 2 trophies, now at Everton, and he's doing pretty well there. So again, another good sale. And looking at the rest, any important ones here? Petrovic, that's decent money to Bournemouth. I mean, goalkeeper is probably position we needed to address this summer. We haven't. I think that's with hope in the future that Penders will be here either next summer or the summer after next. He's currently on loan at Strasbourg, and I think obviously he's like our guy for the future. I think that's why we've sold Petrovic. We're probably going to hold on to Sanchez for a year or two more, and then Penders will come in probably as the number one. So we'll see. Madueke to Arsenal, obviously a great deal for us. bunch of loans. Felix, a great deal for us. I think it's like 26 million pounds plus like another 16 or 17 in add-ons, which I think the reports said those were not difficult add-ons, so we shouldn't get that over time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So in terms of our window, I'd say in terms of exits, I'd probably give us like an 8 out of 10 because we still got players like Sterling, Disasi, who are at the club. I have no idea what we're gonna do with those because I think the English one has closed. So if they're leaving, it's gonna have to be like abroad. I think like Turkey's open, Saudi's open. I think there are a few other countries that are still open, so we'll have to see what happens there. I could see Disasi leaving to a European club or somewhere else. Sterling, I'm not sure. I feel like he's the kind of guy to probably just sit in the reserves and just take his money, which I guess he has a right to. So it is what it is. Incomings, again, when you look at it, it doesn't seem like that much. Like we addressed some key positions. It's just really unfortunate with the lap injury. And we've got two left wings, which we kind of needed. So even though I don't think Garnacho's the greatest, I'm willing to give him time, see how he develops. So we'll see about that. Hato was a problem position that we got done. We got Palmer a backup. Probably could have been a better player, but I think Buonanotte is talented. So we'll see how it goes. So overall, I don't think it was terrible. I think it could have been a little bit better. So I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 for our incomings and 8 out of 10 for outgoings. So 7.5 out of 10 window is not the worst at all. All right, last thing before I end the video, I did want to talk about our game yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say, against Fulham. And I'm just going to go through the kind of itinerary here. Delap gets injured early on. Like just terrible timing, obviously, with all the Jackson stuff, but it is what it is. He's probably going to be out for around 2 months. So I think that definitely means, obviously, João Pedro is just going to be starting at the 9 for most of the time going forward. I don't think we're going to see him in the 10 anytime soon, probably. Then the controversial point of the weekend, Josh King scores and it gets ruled out because Muniz does like a roulette, steps on Chalobah's foot, the goal gets ruled out. Is it soft? Maybe. And I can understand like Fulham fans being upset about it, but like I don't think it's that outrageous. It's a foul. Like just because he does a skill move doesn't mean he has the right to step on a player. So I don't know. The outrage is a bit overdone in my opinion. It's a foul. It's the right decision. That's what I think anyways. Let me know what you think in the comments. And then João Pedro from the corner at the end of the first half. Again, you could say that there was 8 minutes of added time. We technically scored in the ninth minute, so Fulham fans can be aggrieved, but it's kind of one of those that it is what it is. It's up to the referee. And Enzo gets the assist. And well, I was going to talk about him now, but I'll probably just go through all the players in a second because Enzo had like a really bad second half. Start of the first half, again, another referee decision. It seems like basically all the goals kind of came as a result of the referee, which is why it feels bad for Fulham. I think like this again was the right decision, and we were much better in the second half. Giddens comes on for Estevas, who I thought was really good again. And then I just want to go through the lineup here. Sanchez, I thought it was okay. Didn't make any glaring mistakes. I think there was like one shaky moment for him, but overall it was good. Kukurea solid. I thought the center backs were really really good. Chalobah especially. They kind of locked down Fulham, even though Fulham were pretty good in the first half. I thought they dealt with them quite well for the most part. Gusto, honestly, one of his better games in a Chelsea shirt, especially defensively. Like Gusto is a guy that I think he has a lot of talent. He ends up frustrating me a lot, but I thought this he did really well defensively in this game, going up against Iwobi and Sessegnon. Caicedo, I mean, he does what he does. Another great game. Like I don't think he has bad games at this point. He's just like just great every game. Enzo, obviously, he's got the highest rating because he had a goal and assist, but his first half was one of the worst halves he's had in a Chelsea shirt. He was misplacing passes for fun. I remember we had a counter where he had like four options. He dribbled for way too long and then just gave the ball away. It was really, really poor. But I thought he had a better second half. And if he's able to have that's this sort of game where he underperforms a while but comes away with a goal and assist, you're not going to see me complaining. João Pedro gets the goal, and obviously he contributed quite a lot also defensively. One thing that I'm quite surprised about Pedro is how good he is in the air. Like obviously I knew he was like pretty technical, I thought he was a decent player, but he scored like a few headers for us now, which is just not what I was expecting. Neto was okay. I didn't think he was great. He had some good moments though. Esteval, lower rated, but I thought he was quite bright down the right hand side in the first half. Especially, well, he was better in the second half, but I thought the first half he had some good moments, and we just didn't get him the ball enough. It's probably credit to how Fulham were setting up, but I thought whenever he got the ball, he looked pretty exciting with it. And yeah, I think now we're second going into the international break, so not bad. Crystal Palace again. This result is looking not that terrible considering how they've played so far. Like Palace, despite losing Eze and it looked like they were gonna lose Margay, but the move for Liverpool is broken down now, so he's gonna end up staying. That's not a horrible result, even though it's one we'd want to win. So I'm expecting Palmer to be back after the international break pretty much immediately. Delap. I mean, the rumor is 6 to 8 weeks. I think Enzo Maresca was just saying that because that's what he expects of a hamstring injury, but there's no like official timeline for his injury yet. But yeah, I think we're in a really good place going into the international break. For the season, I was kind of predicting fourth for Chelsea with the injury to Colwell being like the main decider in my prediction. I think we're still on for that. We'll have to see. City have done really, really poorly, so that's kind of thrown a spanner in the works to start with. But we'll see. I think the main thing will be our defense. I kind of trust our attack for the most part. We're kind of gonna have to see how Giddens and Garnacho do on that left hand side to really determine how good we're going to be going forward, I think. But Fofana's coming back into the defense, so I think that'll be um, another positive for us going forward. Gusto's looking good now. We've got James as well. We've got a backup option for Kukurea. So honestly, I feel like Chelsea Twitter and Chelsea social media has been kind of in meltdown over the past couple of days, but things really are not that bad. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you thought about this game, about our transfer window, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.